Today, and I guess I'm doing this now, we're going to make my old fashioned. James is old fashioned. I'm James. We're going to make my old fashioned. Let's do it. Intro song, bang, bang, intro song. Clapping is probably not best. I like an old fashioned with brown liquor in it. But when I say brown liquor, I really mean any brown liquor. So this is one of the beauty of making cocktails at home. This is one of the things I like the most about making my own cocktails at home versus going to a bar, that sort of thing, or restaurant, wherever you're going to get a cocktail. They're gonna have their own version of this, and hopefully if they're good at it, they're gonna refine that based on what they like, based on the flavor profiles that they think makes the most sense for their establishment. At home, you can do the same thing. You can vary it up. You can try different alcohols in there. Really get crazy with it. A lot of what I have figured out, a lot of what I like is based on trial and error. It's based on experimentation. So that's a part of what I like to do. But what I figured out really quickly was that you can take something really simple, really classic, like an old fashioned, and depending on the whiskey, depending on the base spirit that you're putting in that old fashioned, it's going to change the flavor of that thing a lot. It's going to really make it into a different drink. You can use rum, you can use mezcal, you could use tequila, and you could use whiskey, bourbon, scotch, just anything. Rye, you could use really any brown liquor with an asterisk there, because as far as tequila goes, a lot of tequilas aren't brown, but they all work pretty well. In this recipe in particular, if you have some brown liquor at home and you want to make an old fashioned, you really just need sweetener, you need your brown liquor, whatever that's going to be, and you need some bitters. What I'm making here today is the recipe for an old fashioned that I came up with during COVID. And then I sort of refined that and I perfected this over the years, just trying different alcohols, trying different base spirits, basically. Now, I think this is really probably one of the nicest old fashions you're going to find. Uh, Maybe I'm a little biased. Going to start off with our tumbler. I'm not going to put any ice in this tumbler yet. That comes at the very end here, right? What we're going to start with is our tiny dasher of Fernet Branca. This is just a dasher of Fernet Branca. There's nothing else special to it. I use a dasher for my Fernet because it allows me to control the amount that I'm putting into the glass way more than I have done with the bottle alone. I've had multiple cocktails, say ruined. I like Fernet Branca, but you start to get a little too Fernetty at some point, and a little too little of whatever other flavors you were trying to get to in your cocktail if you over Fernet. So I like one dash of Fernet. Next up, we're going to go for one dash of the Regan's Orange Bitters right into the glass. I'm sure there are cocktail people out there who are going to absolutely hate the way that I'm doing these things. I'm not a bartender. I don't know how to do these things. I know how to put flavors together that I like, but technique, not my strong suit. So just be aware. I was about to put that directly into the glass. Look at me. Next up, we're going to take our agave nectar. This is amber agave nectar. Um, we're going to do this one bar spoon to the glass, just like that. Lastly, we're going to do our Larceny weedy bourbon. Do 2 ounces of this. It's a pretty neat pour, actually. I just have to spill that all over myself and the bar. Now, in order to dissolve this agave nectar into my drink a little bit, I'm stirring, like I said, before I put any ice in. It's going to help make sure that your sugars are dissolved into your drink. Lastly, our cube. Big block of cube here. That'll go right in. I normally use a spoon, but it wasn't in my hand. So bear with me. All right. I'm going to stir this with the ice in it until it gets cold to the touch. How long do I stir for? However long it takes for the ice to get cold, for the glass to get cold, I should say. Oh, wow. I did forget one thing. Now, I don't use an orange peel on top just because for me, for my own personal use, for making cocktails for me and my friends and family and whatnot, I don't go through a whole orange quickly enough for that not to feel a little bit wasteful. So I do make my own orange spray. One moment. Put it in these little spritzers here. This is a thing I'll show you how to make at some point as well. For right now, just know this is orange essence with some other things in it to help to help it dilute a little bit. I'm gonna spray this a handful of times, get it over the end. Now, the effect here of the spray is essentially the same thing. If you like an orange, this tastes very, very, very similar, and it's a little less wasteful. So I go with the spritzer. So we've made James's Old Fashioned. Let's give it a little taste here. Nice. Yeah, that's really nice. Like I said earlier, if you don't have larceny on hand, or if you know for sure you don't like larceny for whatever reason, maybe you just have another whiskey on hand that you really like. Maybe you've got rums on hand rather. This combination is going to work really well just about anything you throw at it. So I encourage you, try it out. Try the Regans with the Fernet. Try the agave syrup, agave nectar rather. I think for the most part, if you stick with the brown liquor, your whiskeys, your bourbons, even scotches, well, not maybe not a peaty scotch, but a good like Highland scotch or something like that, I think could go really well in this. Blended scotches also make a pretty good pairing for this. I also like a rum old fashioned a lot, especially like a darker, like a Demerara rum in this old fashioned is killer. It's really, really good. Um, yeah. So bottom line is, old fashioned's a great drink. It's very spirit forward. You can do a lot with it. Just changing out some of these simple elements can make some much different drinks. I think it's a lot of fun. That to me is the exciting part about making cocktails, especially making cocktails at home. You get to figure out what you like. Now the downside of that is you figure out something that you like really well, then you go to a bar, you go to a restaurant, something like that, and guess what? They're not going to make it like you like it. Now you can ask them to do certain things, but you know, don't be a prick. Don't knock over your drink either. That would have been stupid. Yeah, have fun, enjoy. I mean, that's the whole purpose of this thing, right? And if you're making cocktails at home, or you're interested in making cocktails at your home, um, that's part of the fun. This is getting really sloppy. I feel like just a couple drinks here, and I'm already getting loosey goosey. That's like I said, 11:30. I'm gonna have some more. That's about it for this one. Leave a like if you enjoyed what you saw here. Subscribe if you want to see more like this. I'm going to be doing a lot of fun things. I also do gaming content. We're trying out the whole mixed content thing. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Maybe it'll be two channels at some point, but for now, it's one channel. It's really gaming and cocktails. Do those things go together really well, especially for VR gaming? Maybe if you know that you're gaming in a space that you're not going to knock shit over, and spill a drink or whatever, then it could go fine. But that's not the point. The point isn't here to make a drink and then go do VR gaming in your home with your breakables. The point here is I like both of these things a lot, and we're gonna do some exploration in both of these areas. So give my spec for an old fashioned to try, since James is old fashioned. Try the stuff. Let me know in the comments. Did you like the larceny? Do you like the fernet and a dasher? What do you like? Share some ideas with me. Maybe I'll make some stuff that you send me. Who knows? Um, that's it. Cheers. How the hell do you end a YouTube video? I don't know.